Tell me about March.
Yeah, so the song was so it was commissioned by New York City Pride and also ABC, and they reached out to a producer in New York City named Vincent, and he came at me with the offer, and what do you think about doing this? And I was like, this sounds great. I'm so down to do it. But he sent me this like track and these lyrics, and I was like, okay, I'm down to do it. Not doing what this is. I'm like, I'm not cool with that. This sounds like some Wonder Bread sock hop stuff that I'm not really aligning myself with. So I'll do it if I can do it on my own. So as soon as he said, yeah, that's cool, I reached out to Aritza Laws and Kenna Map, who are the two writers and producers I worked on my EP with. And they have great credits. Like Aritza has done songs for Michael Jackson, for Whitney Houston. Like she has a really extensive resume, and Canada is really dope as well. So that was Vincent reached out to Thursday. Friday we went to Aritza's apartment and we wrote and recorded the song in her apartment using her home studio in like 13 hours, and then they mixed and mastered it over that weekend. Then we shot the video on Tuesday, and the final product. So the whole thing took about 5 days to do it, which was so crazy, but I thought the message was much needed. And, Amanda says a really great thing. She says that, whatever your thing is in this time, do it. If you're a writer, go write. If you're a singer, go sing. If you're like, whatever is your art, use it in this time to spread the gospel, spread the message. So music is my avenue, music and drag. So I wanted to definitely do this to spread the message of marching and how important it is in today's climate.
Absolutely. And I mean, like so many of us, I mean, like I said, I was on your show, The Exchange Rate on Build, you can watch on YouTube. You've been really affected by everything that's going on. I mean, like we all have, and I've talked about it on air myself. But tell me just how you've dealt with, I mean, everything that's going on every week, a new person being shot, another viral video, another Karen going crazy. How has it affected you?
It really it gives you pause as a Black person in this country because, I mean, I come from a West Indian heritage, so growing up in St. Lucia, I don't really feel like I experienced racism to such a degree as when I moved to America. And again, that may be many factors. One, I was much younger when I lived there, so my consciousness as to what racism and race interactions look like was, it was young. I wasn't, informed yet as an adult. But seeing all these things going on and navigating the world as a Black person in America, it is very disheartening. And, and we see small bits of nuggets of change happening, but obviously it doesn't feel like it's happening fast enough, especially Black people. We have been going through this for 4.5 centuries. This has been our story for 4.5 centuries. We have been fighting for 4.5 centuries to be free in not just America, in the world. And as someone who does have a global reach, and I travel a lot to perform and drag, and in my DMs, I look in my DMs and I see people saying like, "Oh God, America is so crazy." Here in Norway, we don't. I'm like, if you think that racism does not exist in your country, you are sadly mistaken. Talk to the Black people in your country. Talk to the Black people in your city. Hell, talk to the Black people on your block to find out that is completely false. That Black people all over the world are experiencing this, which is why we're seeing a global impact. People are marching in Germany, in Belarus, in Brussels, in Asia. Like, people all over the world are feeling this because it is a global issue and not just an American thing.
I wanted to talk to you about this because oftentimes I have people call into my show and they talk about, oh, well, I feel like, LGBT folks forget about Black folks and so and so. And then I'm like, you do realize that there are tons of Black LGBT people, and there are LGBT folks who are speaking out about racism because we experience racism even within the LGBT community. I mean, from what I've heard, what a lot of Black drag queens go through after being on RuPaul's Drag Race, the kind of crazy stuff that's being said because you are Black drag queens. But I always tell people that at the end of the day, we are Black people, and Black LGBT folks have fought for our right to exist. Marsha P. Johnson, Bayard Rustin, Audre Lorde, right? But sometimes, I don't know if you experienced this, there is a separation between Black and LGBT, and it pisses me off because we've always been in this, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? And speaking for Drag Race, to start off there, I mean, just when I won All Stars alone, the amount of vitriol I saw in my comment section, my DMs, calling me Black monkey that won, oh, niggers should never win, da-da-da. I mean, just it ran the gamut of racist stuff. And obviously, a lot of these people are LGBTQIA plus people.
Exactly.
That is the demographic of Drag Race. So those are the people who are commenting and making it their business. Recently, about a month ago, I posted. I just happened to scroll upon it in my DMs, and it was this guy who, since I won on February 15th, 2019. About every week, he would send me a message of something so egregious, so racist, like every day for over a year. And I happened to click the message, and I read it, and I was scrolling, and I was like, oh my God, this was this guy. This guy made it his job to weekly, sometimes daily, send me of hate and racism. So, and on his profile, he identified as a gay white male. I mean, a gay Hispanic white male. So, so he's in the community. So it was just to see that someone from my own community. And, the Black and the LGBT community are two marginalized communities. Obviously, we all know that. So it always perplexes me when I see two groups of people that have similar, not the same, but similar struggles of marginalization and prejudice, to see them not support each other, which I think it grosses me out, but at the same time, this is why this pride seems, or is hitting differently to me, because we're seeing this intersection of Black Lives Matter and pride, and we're seeing small victories for both communities, which hopefully for me, I'm like, well, maybe we would start to realize that we're both in this struggle together, and which means LGBT folk recognizing racism and recognizing that it is a real thing, but also for Black folks, because growing up as a Black gay man, I've had so many Black people be so toxic to me. You see that video I posted of those 25 Jews beating up that beautiful trans woman in Maryland. It was Ayanna. So to see that Black people are attacking this trans woman for just existing is the height of toxicity to me.
Yeah, we definitely have some work to do. We definitely have, because the thing is, that's the stunt, Monet. They want Black people and LGBT folks to hate each other. They want to. They're doing this. That's the way it's designed. Just like they wanted poor white folks to hate indentured African servants. That goes all the way back to the beginning of time, and we can't fall for that. We just can't fall for it. So Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. I was saying I completely agree, because the more that they divide and separate us, the easier it makes their agenda. It makes their agenda easier to accomplish. The more that we're all separate, the more that we're all divided, the more that we're pointing and be like, that queer person or that Black. The more that they separate us, it makes their job so much easier. So it's like, why make their job easier? Make it impossible for them to do the things that they're doing.
Absolutely. Like I said, March, is it on iTunes?
Yes, March is available on wherever you buy your music: Spotify, Google Play, Pandora, Apple Music, iTunes, it's everywhere. And I'm donating all of my earnings from the song to Black trans causes, and and everyone who identifies under the new colors of our flag, the black, brown, and the trans colors. And it's also why I featured so many, why I'm heavily featured in the song are Black trans artists, because oftentimes in media, on social media, in the news, we see trans people so victimized. Either they're being killed, either they're overly sexualized, either they're used as props in whatever disgusting way. And I wanted to celebrate the beauty of Black transness. Just because having Black trans people doesn't mean that they have to be the core, the base of a Law and Order SVU episode. No, Black trans people are thriving. They look great, and they're doing the damn thing. So I really wanted to feature that as much as possible in the video.
I hear that, and we got a taste of sibling rivalry with you and Bob just a few minutes ago. So for folks who don't know, I mean, it's a hilarious podcast. It's Black as hell. It's unapologetic. I dig it. But for folks who don't know, tell them about it.
Oh, Sibling Rivalry is a podcast with Bob, the drag queen, and I. I've been friends with Bob for going on 9 years, and in our friendship, we quickly got a really close friendship, and we would have the same conversations you hear on the podcast. Literally, Bob and I would have these conversations on the phone literally daily or in person. And it started because he had went to Berkeley for 6 months to do Angels in America, and we were talking on the phone every day, and then we were like, why don't we just literally just add a microphone? We're not changing anything. We're just literally adding a microphone to the conversation. So that's what you're hearing. We don't ever censor ourselves, which sometimes we probably should, honestly. We don't censor ourselves. We don't not talk about things to be for whatever. We just speak our truth, and sometimes it's really bad, and sometimes it's good, and sometimes we argue, sometimes we laugh, but it's just real. And I wanted to make a product and a podcast about what I feel, what I didn't see and hear in media. And I just wanted to hear two really queer Black people speak about their Black experiences in America and their queer experiences in America, and sometimes their really gross sexual experiences in America, because that's real. We all go through it.
That's
and
real. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I almost called you Bob. Forgive me. Monet.
I haven't
Sibling.
You think that I look that bad in makeup. That is.
Well, Monet, I want to
shady.
thank you for being here. No, it's all love. I want to thank you for being here to close out LGBT Pride Month. We got to all realize we as Black folks, we can't throw folks away. We can't throw out James Baldwin. We can't throw out Laverne Cox. We don't have time. If we're going to move forward, it's going to require all of us. And we definitely can't throw out Monet X Change.